Welcome to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison.
I'm Molly, a former skeptic turned full-time energy healer and teacher.
And I'm Madison, a born and raised witch running my family's crystal shop.
And we're here to explore all things woo through the lens of both science and spirituality so that you can find the moments of magic in your everyday life and create an intentional spiritual practice.
So if that's what you're into, find a cozy spot, take a deep breath, and let's demystify some magic.
Howdy doody, friends.
It's that time again, you guys. Howdy doody.
We're here kicking off a new series that you all requested / I have been literally on the edge of my seat to do for the last 18 months.
Some might say Molly has spent the last year and a half preparing for this series and this series alone.
Some might say that. Some might say that. Many of you know I've been writing a book all about mundane magic. And this series is going to give you a little sneak peek into it. And we may or may not have some information about where you can get that book coming up. But we're going to go room by room in the house and give you some ritual ideas for how you can both clean your house, but also connect with your house spirit, clean your house, declutter, but also cleanse the energy, talk about some of the energetic correspondences of that room and how you can really start to make your space a place of magic.
I'm really excited about this, not only just because Molly gets to monologue for the next 8 episodes and I get to, sit back, kick my feet up and eat bonbons, but I also haven't gotten to read this book yet. We were just talking before we started recording that I have not received my advanced reader copy yet. So I will have as much information as you guys at the end of this series. I've just gotten bits and pieces, pictures here and there. I've gotten to zoom in on it in the background of a couple photos, like a real creep. But I'm so excited because this is something that for a long time existed just in our conversations, that we would talk about, and hearing about it as you're doing it. I'm just so, first of all, I'm so fucking proud of you.
Oh.
But second of all, I'm excited because this feels like the first step into it being out in the world is starting to record these,
I know. It feels surreal. It feels surreal that I wrote a whole ass book and now our demysties get to have a sneak peek of it. But first, Madison, what was your magic moment of the week?
My magic moment this week is that yesterday I ran 6 miles and I did not die.
Woo-woo! Yay!
I had to take a little bit of a break from running. I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast before, but I have PCOS. Maybe I did when I talked about having to get the MRI. Oh, well, that was what that was for, is I have PCOS. It's a fairly recent discovery, and I figured out that I have PCOS because I have pain specifically during strenuous physical activity, aka running. So happy for me that this could lead me to figuring that out. But I've been on a little bit of a roller coaster of figuring out what works for me, working with my doctor and also working with traditional Chinese herbalists, kind of finding the perfect blend of things that will be helpful. And it seems that we're making some progress because I had almost no pain yesterday.
Yay.
I had one moment where I was oop, gotta walk for a minute, and then got back to it and was able to finish my run. And I was at a point maybe 2 or 3 months ago where I couldn't run for more than 30 seconds without pain.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that was really, really exciting. And it was fun to, I love that Molly and I are doing this together, training for this half marathon, because my favorite part of it all was I got to be okay, 1 mile down, first water break, feeling good, 2 miles, no pain, 3 miles, I'm taking my break for my Nerds Gummy clusters.
Yeah, I ran my 6.5 earlier in the day. And so I was Madison, you have to run it. You have to run today. I already went.
We can't have it be that I went and you didn't.
Yeah. So it's been fun.
It's been fun. What was your magic moment?
My magic moment is that I finally get to announce my book pre-order. So this episode is coming out on the 12th of August. So yesterday I will have revealed my cover and announced the pre-order. What's so funny to me is that, so I didn't realize this, but publishers like before you officially announce the pre-order, they have to have your pre-order loaded in all of the different like websites. So all of the wholesales and the Barnes and Nobles, the Amazons, all of that. And so people have been finding my book for the last couple of weeks and like sending me links and being like, is this yours? Is this real? I ordered it. I'm not sure. And I had to be like, yes, it's real. I know there's no cover. The cover will be there on the 11th. Like
it's coming, I swear.
But like the excitement that y'all have had behind this book literally since day one. Like I remember one of my magic moments on this podcast was talking about my agent finding me. And like this podcast is one of the reasons why I have a whole ass book that will be coming out. Drum roll, please. February 17th, 2026, the new moon, baby.
Woohoo! I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. It's like the perfect timing. So full transparency, there's been so much magic behind this book. Like literally the cover has the Ace of Wands on it. I don't know if you knew that, Madison, but
no, I haven't seen the fucking cover.
Yeah, well, you will have seen it by the time this comes out, but everyone who's worked on this book behind my editing team and my agents are all witches. The person who designed the cover is a witch, and she's like, yeah, I snuck a pentacle and the Ace of Wands on there for you. And I was like, I love that for you. I love that for us. And literally my publisher reached out to me and she was like, what do you think about February 24th? It has to be a Tuesday for release. And I was like, well, if it has to be Tuesday, the 17th is a new moon. So I think that could be a more auspicious day. And I literally called Chelsea and I was like, Chelsea, I need you to help me with astrology back the 17th for a release date. She like looked at all my transits and gave me like all of this evidence. And my publisher didn't even need that. They're like, you're right. The new moon is such a better take. It's like perfect.
Perfect. Great. Oh, that makes me so happy. Yeah, it was so surreal. Literally earlier today, I was ordering books for the store and I was like, I'll just look and see if it's on here. And I couldn't buy it yet, but it was like in the wholesale portal at Penguin. And it was so fun to be like, I know her.
I was so excited. So if you do want to pre-order the book, I would love you so much. It's available wherever books are sold. So it's on, audiobook, ebook, hardcover. It will be available in different countries, or you can order it from my dear friend Madison's store. She will have a pre-order link down in the show notes. So if you order from Madison's store, Madison, do you want to tell everyone what they get as a special extra?
Yes, let me tell them. So if you pre-order the book either from shopspellcrafter.com or from thehealinghedgewitch.com, you will get access to a virtual book tour event. Molly and I are going to be hosting. I'm going to put my interviewer hat on and we're going to talk about the book on Zoom. Molly's book tour dates are TBD at the moment, to be announced at some point. But one event that I can tell you will be happening is this virtual book tour event.
Yes.
All the deets will be in the show notes below. Full transparency, I'm not saying a date because we haven't ironed it out yet. But by the time this podcast episode comes out, all the details will be figured out and they will be in the description.
Yeah. I literally had to call my agent today and be like, I need all of these details because we're recording this series.
We've pushed our recording time multiple times today because we were like, oh, we had this idea this morning of this thing that we should do on the day that we're supposed to record the announcement. Let's make it everyone else's problem.
Okay, to be fair, I don't think a publisher or an agent will ever get mad if I'm like, hey, I have an idea on how we can sell a bunch of books.
Right. I dare you to be mad at me.
Yeah, we wanted to give y'all a little treat because you were such literally such huge supporters of this entire process. And I know, so many of you are eager to have this book in your hands. Some things I can tell you about it. I have not held it in my hands yet at this very point, but I have seen what the innards will look like and I have seen what the cover will look like and I'm very excited. It's going to be a paper overboard, which means it's a hardcover, but it doesn't have a jacket, which that is a phrase that I learned 2 years ago when I started pitching this book. And I have not stopped talking about it. So it'll be hardcover, no jacket. The UK version might be slightly different. I'm not sure yet. I know we will have a UK version. It will be available internationally. Right now, we just have like English language. So there's no translations yet. But if y'all really love it, maybe we have that. And then the audiobook will be available on all of the different platforms. I know it's already up on Libro FM. I looked the other day and it was like trending at 106 in the like body, mind, and spirit category. And I was like, how the hell? Who is ordering this? Who has ordered this? If you have ordered it before I announced it, first of all, you're a real one. Second of all, please slide into my DMs because that's so cool. Like, that is so cool. Anyway, so how the book is structured is basically it goes room by room in your house and offers you a glimpse into how you can take your everyday things that you have to do and make them a little bit more magical so you actually want to do them. Each chapter is split into 3 categories: daily rituals, which are kind of like your tasks you do every day. So for instance, in the bathroom, it's like brushing your teeth, showering. In the kitchen, it's like eating 3 meals a day, drinking water, etc. And then we also have magical upkeep, which are sort of the things you have to do periodically throughout the week to kind of maintain the space. So think about doing dishes, doing laundry, vacuuming the space, and then deep magic, which are the more deep cleaning rituals or deeper magical rituals that you can add into your space. So these are things that you would throw in on like a new moon, a full moon, or a solstice or an equinox, just to kind of freshen up the energy of the space, but also like do those deep cleaning tasks that we tend to put off. And, like washing your shower curtain with the full moon, which we've talked about 52,000 times and was the impetus to this entire book.
Yeah, never forget me learning live on air that it was not hand scrubbing.
No, just throw it in the washer. And then at the end, there's like a pretty extensive appendix of magical correspondence to herbs and spices you'll have in your kitchen, your pantry already, as well as, I have a color magic section. I have a section on how to make sigils, a section on how to set intentions, pretty much all the instructions you need to do like any kind of magic that's mentioned in the book. And then because I know y'all love it, there's, I believe, over 50 simmer pot recipes in the appendix, which is pretty wild. So that's like for wild. Any intention you could possibly imagine. And because I'm extra, I listed the magical properties by category. So like herbs, crystals, etc. And then I listed them by intention. So if you're like, okay, I need something for self-love, it has all the herbs, all the crystals and everything. So you can reference it in both ways, which is something that David Cunningham's book does that I really loved and wanted to make sure I include because ain't nobody going to go through a whole list of, magical correspondence and try to sort out which ones are for which intention. No, we're going to make this as easy as possible for you.
Love it.
Love it. So in this series, we're going to give you a little taste. We're going to go room by room. We're going to start with the living room. We're going to talk about the energy in the space, how you can shift it, how you can cleanse it, some daily rituals you can do, crystals that you can keep in the space, the room's correspondence to the planets, the elements, the chakras. And we're going to give you a little taste of mundane magic. So we're going to give you some rituals that you can do for these spaces and some deep magic rituals you can do for full moon, new moon, solstice, equinox, etc. So basically like a little teaser of the book. And if you like what you hear, maybe you pre-order the book. Maybe you don't. Either way, I love you.
Either way, love you, mean it.
Yeah.
But
should we dive in?
Let's dive in.
All right, living room. Let's talk about the living room.
Let's talk about it. Listen, I'm just here as a supporting character in this series. I'm here to let you shine.
Well, the living room is, I like to call it the heart of connection. So if we think about this is the space where we gather, this is the space where we connect with each other, this is the space where we unwind with the family or with ourselves. So when we have like the energy is out of balance in the space, if it feels cluttered or disorganized, you can find communication, especially in the home, like with the family, can be a little bit disorganized, a little bit chaotic. But on the other hand, if it's too sterile and too pristine and doesn't have those elements that feel comforting, you can feel disconnected from your home in general. And so there's like this fine balance that we want to find in the living room so that it can be a space where you really feel connected to your home in general. I find that this is the space, at least for me, that when my life feels really chaotic, my living room is a holy hot mess. Like the blankets, the pillows are on the ground. There's dog hair everywhere. There's like dishes that I leave out everywhere. Like I can't find the remote. Like the plants are a mess. This is the space that you can tell, like we always say, you can tell our mental health by the state of our plants. You can tell the state of my calendar and my schedule and my to-do list by how my living room looks.
For sure. I also feel like because this is the place where, like, when you have people over, that's where that's the center, right? It's also the place that can pick up so much stagnant energy. It's where like stuff that doesn't belong to you can kind of like stick in the nooks and crannies, which can make even like light physical clutter feel very heavy when there's like lots of energetic clutter.
Yeah. I think also too, I mean, I don't know if this is true for like all houses. I'm sure it's not for all houses, but for a lot of houses, the entryway leads into the living room. And so there's a lot of opportunity for what I call stuff mountain to accumulate. So like that's your shoes, your packages, your junk mail, like your grocery bags, your stuff that like you bring into the house and you just drop and you're like, I'll put this away later. For me, it always ends up like either in the entryway or in the living room. And so that can create like a blockage of energy as well from entering into the rest of the home. So it really is like almost like this bottleneck of the home that oftentimes we don't realize until until it gets bad.
Yeah, for sure. For me, it's my couch. Shit will sit on my couch for weeks.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah. For me, it's like we have like a half wall between our kitchen and our living room, and it's like open on the top. And so it just becomes a ledge, and that's right next to where I sit on the couch. And that just accumulates like stuff like change, bobby pins, AirPods, cups, so many cups. At one point I had like 5 books there. I'm like, I'm not reading 5 books at a time when I'm in the living room. Like, what is this?
That's not how it's happening.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a little mantra or affirmation for this space that you can hold with you while you're cleaning, while you're cleansing, or just for funsies. And our mantra is, may this space hold joy, gather love, and ground me in presence.
Which I love. I feel like, again, because it's a place that so many people, other people's energy can exist in, it can be hard to feel grounded and feel present when there's like so much going on. If you're a person who loves to host, I feel like getting grounded and being present is a huge part of the living room.
Yeah. I also want to say too, if you are someone who doesn't have like any of these rooms distinctly in your house, like I know we're going to talk about the laundry room at some point. If you don't have a room for your laundry, like that is okay. Just like the nook of your house that you consider your like living room space. So Madison, I know like your kitchen, your living room are sort of like combined.
Yeah.
So we're talking about like the space where your couch is, your TV, like your chairs that you sit in and you kind of hang out in. If you're in like a studio apartment, it's like whatever that nook of the space is, or wherever these tasks take place, So that's kind of like one of the reasons why I have like a pretty extensive index in Mundane Magic is like if you don't have a specific living room space, but you want to vacuum, for instance, like you can still pull that out of the chapter and use it.
Yeah, I think that's important too. Because I was about to start saying, oh yeah, my kitchen island is like where a lot of that stuff goes. But that is because my house is pretty much just like one big room and then bedrooms. Yeah. And so a lot of this will like kind of overlap for me where there is like, I have stuff mountain because it's just one big, really my house is one big stuff mountain, but that's like a topic for another podcast. But what I like about the way you've structured this is that it's not so much about the 4 walls, of a room. It's more so about the tasks that take place and the problems and like the pain points that come up in each room. And so I can kind of apply those same structures to parts of my kitchen because they have the same kind of energetic field.
Totes my goats. Hundo P.
Totes my... There's 2 types of people in this world, and it's Hundo P and Totes my goats.
Which one are you? Chime in the comments.
Chime in the comments. And if you're not Hondo P, I'm taking it personal. I'm taking it real personal.
What we're going to do for merch this year is like Team Totes My Goats, Team Hondo P.
Oh my God, we have different t-shirts and then whoever sells more wins.
No, our Hondo P t-shirt is our best-selling piece of merch.
Listen, I didn't say it was a fair fight.
Okay, fair. I'll let you have Hondo P.
No, I feel like Totes My Goats can go in the lexicon. It's gotta pay its dues to, Hundo P walked so Totes My Goats could run. Hundo P walked so every dumb thing we say could run. Do you know what I mean? Like, Hundo P's back hurts from holding this podcast on its shoulders.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree.
Anyways, back to the living room.
Okay, so we're going to top level how to shift the energy in this space, some small ways, some big ways, and then we'll dive into like the magical ways you can, make these tasks a little bit more fun. So some small ways if you need to shift the energy in the space, like right here, right now, you have 25 seconds. Organizing your couch pillows, folding the blankets. Mm-hmm. This is a huge one for me. Like I wish I was the type of person who had like a closing ritual in my house. I'm just not that person.
Oh my God. I watch the TikToks of like closing shift.
Yeah.
What I wouldn't give. Sometimes, and this is how you know something's really fucked up in my brain, is that, first of all, I know that this is not real, but the TikToks I see of the, like, people who are doing closing shift are almost always parents. And so sometimes my brain is like, maybe having kids is what makes you get your shit together.
No.
Like,
no, don't.
Categorically, I know that that's not true. Like, I know that that can't be, but sometimes I will be like, well, if I had kids, I would have to clean the house.
No.
Not a good reason to reproduce.
You know what I said? I said, when I get a dog, I will go on a walk every single day.
Uh-huh.
And then I got really lazy dogs.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah. So maybe I'll have really lazy kids. And then, no, I'll have really pristine, clean children, and I'll never have to clean anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how that works. All children are...
No one make me listen to this clip if I one day decide to procreate.
Reproduce.
No one make me listen to this if I ever have a baby.
I'm playing this at your baby shower.
I'm not having a baby, and therefore there will be no baby shower.
But if you do, I will be playing this. And then, every birthday after that, right before we cut the cake, I will be saying, remember when? And then pressing play.
Remember when you said this would make you cleaner? Remember when you thought this would make you do closing shift? Nice try, dumbass.
Anyways, I wish I had a closing shift routine. If I did, it would be just putting the pillows and blankets on the couch nicely and neatly, because that is the number one thing. That is the thing. I walk downstairs, I'm like, oh, my whole living room's a mess. And then I fold the blankets and I put the pillows like in a cute little place, karate chop them. And then I'm like, wow, this room is actually not that bad.
Yep. I have the exact same thing.
That's your quick one. Another quick one, untangling cords. So the way I talk about it in the book is when we have misalignment in the space, it creates energetic misalignment in the body. So if you've been experiencing like a persistent like kink in your neck or tension in a certain part of your body, you can breathe into that while you untangle the cords of your TV and straighten them out and organize them. And it can help translate energetically into your body as creating that spaciousness in your body at the same time. So that's like one of the rituals in the book for shifting the energy in the living room.
It's hysterical the way that you find ways to consistently call me out. Because that is another thing that, like, when cords are tangled, it's like, well, you have to burn the place down. Like, that's the level of like energetic discombobulation it brings me to see. Like, cord management is probably the largest thing in my house that we are doing and working towards on a daily basis, because I cannot live that way.
Yeah, no, same. Like, literally, especially with the TV. because my husband set up my TV, so I take no credit in this, but the cords just like dangle off our fireplace mantle and they're all tangled. And whenever I watch TV, all I do is stare at those cords.
I'm so sorry.
It's like,
I couldn't listen to a word you just said because I didn't know Drew was coming home. And I heard footsteps in my living room.
Talk about energy.
That is a misaligned energy in my space. Oh my God. Whew.
I don't remember what I was talking about. So
cords.
And what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I just stare at them every time I watch TV and it drives me bonkers. It's the most annoying thing, but it's also the thing that I'm like, well, it's just a part of life and I will never touch it. You know, I'm like, your cords just like that kink in your neck, just like that sore shoulder, just like that back pain.
Yes.
Yeah, tying those together and untangling them together and breathing into that part of your body while you untangle the cords and like staying calm while you do it. So powerful for your body and for your space.
Totally.
If you have a little bit more time and you want to shift the energy in space,
if you just want to shift the energy in the Milky Way, you can do it. Then listen, if you put it that way, these big ways feel really small.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
So that's a reframe of like you're not just changing the energy in your house. You are also changing the energy of the world and therefore of the universe, which is kind of true.
It's true. We are all connected, right? We all, as we've said before, the water that has been within me has become part of you. You will drink my pee at some point in your lifetime because of how water works.
Thank you for making that the nastiest analogy ever. Thank you for taking something really beautiful and spiritual and making it about piss play.
Anyways, bigger ways to shift the energy in your space. Washing the walls, mopping, clearing clutter, cleaning under the couch. We'll talk about all of that.
Yeah, moving the couch to vacuum underneath it is how you know I mean business.
Yes, that is my equinox ritual.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely. Like, that is how I celebrate the Sabbats.
Yeah. But
by vacuuming under my couch.
I don't think I've ever washed my walls.
I have done it once. And we have talked about it on this podcast. And it did change my life. So
I just don't think that there's anything in this world that could make me wash my walls. I'll be really honest with you. When I lived in St. Louis, I was really into making kombucha. Do you remember this phase of my life?
Oh, I remember when it exploded and hit your ceiling.
That didn't even make me wash those walls. And you know what? Last episode we talked about my bad breakup. I left that motherfucker with the stain.
As you should. That's when you knew it was over. You're like, I gotta go back to Florida.
I gotta get out of here. Oh my God, it was so bad. But even that did not get me to wash the walls. They were covered in ferment. It was a bad day. I think about that actually often. Sorry, I keep sidebarring.
No, people love the sidebar. Literally,
but,
like, you know how we had the other day, like, a very tangential episode, and we were like, sorry if this is your first episode. Someone literally commented and was like, this is my first episode, and I am living for it.
And I was like, God bless you. But I think about that probably once a week. So what happened was I just didn't do it right. And I won't go into...
Wait, can I give my perspective of this story before you dive in?
Yes.
I want you to imagine you are newly friends with Madison. You have just set up a Voxer voice note chat with her. And we're still flirting with the idea that we both know we're weirdos. But like, I after I send like 3 Voxers, I'm like, okay, I'll hold back until she responds before I send like another 15. And now I'm like, here's 29 thoughts I've had this morning without any response. So, and then I get this voice note.
So I won't go into the science of like what I did wrong, but all you need to know is that I had 3 bottles of kombucha, like I guess like 12-ounce little bottles with the kind of tops that you have to like put pressure in. It has like the wire. I don't know what it's called.
The flip tops.
Yeah,
the little flip tops with the wire.
The flip tops with the wire, right? Really cute. I'm giving Homestead, and I've made like these individual flavors, and I put them in my fridge, and then I took them out. I was ready to drink one. I think all the time about how I could have died this day if I had been looking over the bottle. Because I struggled to get the top off. If I had been staring this thing in the face, I would have died. Like, there's no way, because I cannot oversell it what happened. Because I got that open, and it's a miracle I didn't put a hole in the ceiling and go into the apartment above me. Like, what came out of that bottle. The lid flew off, hit the ceiling, and it was a straight stream. Like, for a moment, it looked solid. You know when water comes out of a thing and it looks like a solid thing? It's like a weird physics thing. It was that from floor to ceiling kombucha. It was the worst day. It was so bad and so thin. So I did it once, right? It could have killed me.
Yeah.
And then I had to look at the 2 bottles I had left and know that I had no other option than to open them as well. And this is when I was doing TikTok. I had like started a video. Like, I had started a video of me making the kombucha, and they all had magical correspondences. They were like really intentionally chosen. I was so excited. And then it was all over that man's kitchen.
My favorite part is you sent me a voice note and you were very calm about it. And I was like, how dare you not attach a photo or video? And then you just send me an aftermath photo, and I was like, this is how I know. And this is how I know we're going to be best friends.
The worst part is the one that I did first was blueberry. And so the stain was dark purple. And I just know he didn't get his security deposit back.
I'm not exaggerating when I say my abs hurt from you recounting that story.
It's hysterical, and I think about it all the time. All the time. It was so bad. It's what happens when you read one fucking article on how to make kombucha and then you think you don't need to do any further research.
Yeah.
I had the audacity of a mediocre white man that day. And I paid the price. But I will say that didn't deter me, and I continued to make kombucha until my mother died. Not Christy. That's what you call it. Mother. The kombucha mother.
My favorite part is that pause where we were both like, are people gonna know? Like, can I laugh at this?
Can I laugh at this? The kombucha mother died. She got moldy when I had to move back to Florida. I tried to take her with me. It was really sad. Oh. It was like the last shedding of who I used to be, you know?
Yeah. You were really under pressure at that time, and I think Spirit was trying to tell you.
Girl, tell me about it. Oh. So anyways, it's clear that I'll never wash my walls.
You want to talk about how the house spirit?
I can't believe
we've had a 30-minute tangent.
I just really felt that it was important that you guys know that to be true about me, you know?
Yeah.
The stars, they're just like us. Okay.
Do you still have that photo? Because if you do, you have to put it in the Patreon.
I'll find it. I will search for the photo and put it in the Patreon. I think I even took a video of me opening the next ones. The first one was the worst. Like, there was no, like...
I remember that. Yeah. I remember being devastated. There was no video evidence.
Yeah. But I will search for the evidence of this incident and I will share it. But we talk a lot about the idea of, like, your house having a spirit. And so we're going to go through and give like little ways to connect with the spirit of your house dependent on each room. So like if you're in the living room and you want to connect with the spirit of your house, if you're making a cup of coffee in the morning or like a hot cup of tea at night, leave out an extra cup, pour them a little bit, and light a candle. And when you gather in that space, invite them to gather too with you. Like extend the invitation. I think that it can go a long way, even though obviously like the spirit of your house is always there. It's your house. It's about the acknowledgement more than anything of like, hey, I see you. I recognize that you're here. I would like for you to be a part of my gathering. I would like for you to be a part of my life. And like you have a seat at the table, so to speak.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay. We asked our Patreon folks, what did you want to hear in this series? And one of the recommendations they wanted to hear was best crystals for each room and why. So we give the people what they want.
Listen, you can't ever say that we don't listen.
So I picked 3 crystals for this room. The first is rose quartz because it has that warmth about it. It has that like connection to others, that harmony, that love, like that just screams living room to me. I always have a piece of rose quartz in my living room. Usually I stick it in a plant, again, because I struggle with keeping my plants alive, and rose quartz also is really good at helping with that. Another one that I love is black tourmaline. This one's great for protection, grounding, and shielding. I like to keep this with either my like router for my internet, if that's in your living room, or I'll keep it near like the sound bar of the TV to help shield against some of those like electromagnetic waves from the electronics. Or again, if your living room is like a place where you gather, keeping black tourmaline in there with the intention of protecting your energy from like energy vampires or like your in-laws or whatever. And then selenite is another one that I love. I keep selenite above my like fireplace mantle. I have like a 5 moons. I have like the moon phases in selenite. And I love that for peace, for cleansing, for like an energetic reset, for keeping the space clear. And I have it like right in front of my sound bar for my TV. So I have the intention that the sound moves through the selenite and then the energy moves through the space, which is very fun.
Oh, I love that. I have selenite above my front door.
Yes.
So it cleanses me as I come in and out. It cleanses others as they enter my space.
Love it.
Keep all that. It's like for me, it feels like the energetic equivalent of like wiping your feet.
Yes. Yeah. Totally. Or like taking your shoes off.
Yes.
Are you a shoes off or shoes on household?
We don't really come in our front door because our garage is in the back and our shoe rack is like randomly placed kind of like in the middle of our living room. So it's kind of, we're kind of lax about it. Because it's like we don't have like a good place to like take off and store shoes right when you walk in. And so we've just kind of had to whatever. I have my little robot mopper that wipes up once a day, so it makes me feel better about it.
Yeah, I'm a shoes off person, but my husband is not. So it kind of depends on the day. I have indoor shoes. As we know, I have office shoes.
Yeah, as we know. She's got a pair of shoes for every room in the house.
I got a pair of shoes for every room in the house. No, I have my house shoes, I have my office shoes, and then I have my outside shoes.
I just don't understand why the office shoes are different from the house shoes.
Because the office shoes sit on my walking pad, so they're always there, and they never leave the walking pad or the office.
Okay.
So if I want to walk on my walking pad, it's like I also have office socks so that I never have an excuse. Your girl has ADHD, okay? You put too many barriers between me and my walking pad. That thing's collecting dust already.
I got it. I understand. I'm sorry. I apologize. I put my hands up. I say I was wrong.
Okay. So, couple of mundane magic rituals. These come straight from the book. One of the daily rituals I put in the living room is exercise, which you might be thinking like, that seems like a weird ritual to put in the living room. But I was thinking about like, if you don't have a gym membership and you can't go outside, where would you like stretch or like exercise in your house? And for me, it's like the living room. You know, maybe you put the TV on while you're stretching, or maybe you have I had like a stepper at one point. And I had that in my living room, and I would do that while I watched This Old House.
Wow.
Well, it's like a 22-minute long episode.
I didn't
so
know
it's
that
like
you.
the best one.
I didn't know you were into the stepper. That was what the wow was for.
Oh, I wasn't sure if it was like This Old House or the stepper.
No. I just didn't know that you were on that train. Were you deep in the workout videos during COVID?
No, because as you recall, I was a sweat into the oldies kid. So I went through that phase when I was like 7, 8, 9.
Got it. That's all my friends and I were doing. We were watching 10 to 12 hours of Survivor per day, not moving from the couch, creating bed sores. And then for 30 minutes doing either like a Blogilates or what was that girl's name? I can't remember. But like, doing just like 20 to 30 minutes of internet workout videos and then feeling like we had crushed it for the day.
Oh, I was doing that during COVID, but I was also like getting 15,000 steps a day because I had to work in a retirement community. So.
Never forget.
Never forget. Anyways, exercise. Okay. So whether you're exercising at the gym, outside, or in your living room, these are some things that you can do to make it a little bit more magical. The first recommendation I have is color magic. So we've talked about before the association that we make with color, and there's a whole section on the science behind color magic in this book. I swear, like, you're going to geek out when you read it. But red and orange are usually my go-to for motivation, for activating your inner fire, for getting yourself moving. So whether that is a workout set that is red, or a scrunchie that is orange, or maybe it's your socks, maybe it's your water bottle, maybe it's your yoga mat, whatever it is, having that color nearby to help activate you. Another thing I love is turning your water bottle into moon water. So filling your water bottle up the night before and then sticking it on the windowsill so that it's ready to rock and roll. I stick mine, if I'm working out in the living room, I will stick it on the windowsill in the living room so that when I come downstairs, it cues me to like, oh yeah, I had these grand plans to like work out today. And now my water bottle is filled with moon water. So I might as well do it.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah. And then the other mundane magic example that I love for the living room is my clutter-crushing charm, which some of you have tried before, but we'll leave a link in the description box of this episode. But I do have 3 mundane magic meditations you can download for free. One of them is the clutter-crushing charm. It's a 5-minute meditation that's Reiki infused, where it basically helps you get started at like clearing the clutter in your space. And the thing I love about this meditation, which it's also written in the book, but if you want the audio version, you can download it for free if you want. It helps you become more attuned to the energy of your space. So the whole purpose of the clutter crushing charm is starting to find where the energy feels heavy or stagnant and slowly moving that energy in the space closer to balance. And a lot of people have done this and have told me that like this is what they needed to get started, and then they were able to finish the entire space, or like they noticed such a shift in just 5 minutes. It's really, really powerful.
Highly recommend. Big fan over here.
Okay, some correspondence with this living room. So our planetary correspondence is the sun. The living room, again, connection to joy, warmth, love, vitality. It's really like the hub of the home, that place where you gather, the place where you rest, the place where you unwind. So I see it so closely tied to the sun. Would you agree?
Yeah, and it's literally oftentimes the center of the home.
Yes.
The entire home orbits the living room. It exists, it all kind of exists to create paths to that space. So yeah, for sure. And it's that like that excitable energy. It's the place that like we're all drawn to, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then for elemental correspondence, I put earth because it just feels like this very like, connected to that sense of community, of support, getting really grounded. I feel like a lot of our day-to-day routines that aren't, that are for leisure live in the living room. Like we ground and like balance out our work with rest. And a lot of times, like if we're not actively asleep, we're in the living room or we're doing something that could be tied to the living room, whether that's like socializing, having a cup of tea, reading a book, watching TV, playing video games, like a lot of those hobbies center in the living room. So it really feels like a space of like grounding and connecting with the earth element.
Yeah, Hundo P for sure.
Hundo P. And then the chakra correspondence that I wrote is the heart chakra, which is the home of connection, compassion, and relationships. This one felt very obvious for me. It just felt like, oh, yeah, it's the heart. It's, that connection to others, like thinking about the people that you love. I'm thinking about whenever we have a holiday gathering, it's always in the living room. Whenever we have a birthday party, we always sit around the living room. Like my dad came to visit last week. We were hanging out in the living room. Like you and I, when we hang out together, like even if we're disassociating on our phones, we're in your living room. Like that is where that connection lives.
Yeah, it makes me think about like now as an adult, when I go stay at my friends' places and I sleep in their guest room or whatever, and then in the morning creeping up to the living room and waiting for them to be awake, and then like everybody comes down together. My friend Bridget and I do this thing when I go stay at her house, because I will often, a lot of my friends live in Atlanta where there's a wholesale show, and so I'll often, like twice a year, I'll go stay with them for like a week and I'll work from their house. I have the best friends in the world, and we'll put a blow-up mattress, like we'll move the coffee table because they have like an L-shaped couch, and make like a mega bed with an air mattress. And so it'll be like me and her husband and their dogs and their baby, and we're all like snuggled on different parts of this massive resting space. And that to me is like peak heart living room energy. That's like what I keep thinking about. The like as soon as you talk about anything with the living room, and that feeling of like joy and warmth and like family. And also the heart is the center in the chakras as well.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think what could be really fun, like I'm in the process. So our house we moved into in November, and literally every wall is contractor white, like every single wall. And except for my office, because we just built it, so I got to pick the color. But I get overwhelmed thinking about like, how do I pick paint colors for every wall in my house? And so as we're like making this list, I was like, oh, chakras connected to pink or green. Like, oh, so weird. My throw pillows are green. My blankets on my couch are green. I could paint my walls green. Like, it's so funny how that comes out. A lot of my houseplants live in my living room. Green, earth.
I hadn't considered that, but all the rooms in my house are green. I combat that question of how will I know how to pick paint colors for every room of the house. And it's just that you pick one and then you do different levels of concentration. And the darkest green is in my living room. It's in my living room and in my bedroom.
There you go.
But that like deep richness, it feels like sometimes I can feel a little bit like, oh, this is a lot of green. But in the living room is where it feels like it makes the most sense.
Yeah, it's like very grounding. Yeah. And so the other thing that people requested over on Patreon was they wanted us to tie in a weekly tidy schedule aligned with the room and the planetary days, which we thought was a great idea. So the sun is connected to Sun Day. So perhaps you do a little reset of the room on Sunday before your weekday to really like set yourself up for success. But to give you more specific chore tasks by the days of the week and magical correspondence and a lot of these notes that we're talking about, we have made you a worksheet over in the clubhouse of our Patreon. So if you want to join the Patreon, we'll be adding to it every single episode. It's demystifymagic.com, and you'll get a little planetary tidy schedule based on the room and some mundane magic examples. Maybe we'll pull in some links to videos that I've done in the past of like mundane magic for this or mundane magic for that, if we can find them. And so you have a nice little hub.
Yeah, I'm so excited to make that because I'm then going to print it out and put it on my wall.
Same. Okay, so a couple other mundane magic rituals that you can do in this space. I really like to talk about vacuuming, sweeping, and mopping the house in the living room because I feel like that's, if I'm going to mop or sweep my house, I'm going to do the living room. Yeah. Sometimes I'll do the rest of the house, but like that's the one that I do the most. So some things that you can do to make that more magical. For vacuuming, I've been really loving drawing sigils on my vacuum. So I don't like draw it directly on the vacuum because I feel like, well, I guess I could. I'm not sure why I don't.
Full transparency? I don't know.
Yeah, I just realized, I was like, well, it'll ruin the resale value. I'm like, who's reselling a vacuum? You use it until it dies.
It'll ruin the resale value is fucking crazy. That's hysterical in the best way. Thank you for saying that out loud.
Anyways, draw a sigil on your vacuum. Here's the real answer. If we were editing that out, which we're not, I would say, because what if I change my intention? Then I'll want to change the sigil. But the truth is that I think about the resale value of my vacuum.
Mm-hmm. And if you change the intention, you just add another sigil, no?
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
There's never too many intentions, my friend. You know?
It's true.
We contain multitudes. And so do our vacuums.
Or if you have a carpet that leaves vacuum lines, I like to do vacuum the carpet and then vacuum a sigil into the carpet. That's been my new favorite thing.
Such a good idea. I don't have any carpet, so I can't do that. But God, nothing has ever made me actually wish I had carpet.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I had an idea I was going to share and I forgot it in the thrill of that.
Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, if you are a house shoes person, you could put a sigil of like motivation on your house shoes, on the soles of your house shoes with like clear nail polish or something.
Or write it on the inside of the sole, like where you stick your sock.
Oh, yeah. For me, house shoes are like a slipper.
Yeah. So the inside of the sole, like where you put the inside of the shoe, where your foot goes, you could draw it in there.
I guess, yeah, for sure. I guess to me, like a slipper is like fuzzy. And so I wouldn't want to like draw on that. No, I'm just,
okay.
I don't want to ruin the resale value of the slippers. I got her, folks. Oh, we got her. And you know what? Really, that's what I'm here for on this podcast. I get one of those, and then I tell a really embarrassing story about myself. Sometimes I cry.
Mm-hmm.
I get one good laugh out of Molly, and then I go.
Anyways, vacuuming magic. If you have a robot vacuum, you could draw a sigil on that, or glue a crystal to it.
Hell yes.
I don't know why you haven't done this with Frederick or whatever the name of your vacuum is that I always forget.
His name is Gilbert. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry.
Put some respect on it.
I'm bad with names.
What I do with Gilbert that's quite witchy is I make a very special blend. Because during the hurricanes last year, I had a late night. Sometimes we have magic moments. Sometimes we have manic moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a manic moment and I bought a very nice, it was in my defense, it was 50% off.
And there's a resale value to it.
Now that there's some resale value. But it's like a robot vacuum that also mops. And so it has a little container that you put water in. And so I put in like 75% water. If I'm really fancy, it's moon water. Most of the time it's not. I'll be really honest with you. Most of the time, it's just straight up sink water.
Mm-hmm.
But then I put in Florida water. And I have the threshold ground cleaner from Counter Magic. And I drop that in there. And sometimes I'll like add some other things if I have any like other spiritual colognes. I have another Florida water that a friend of mine makes. And so sometimes I'll like put that in there with the run-of-the-mill Florida water. Just anything that's like not solid. I guess I could probably put some crystal chips in there, but I'm kind of scared to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Because imagine you have to take it to the robot vacuum repair shop and you go, there's rocks in it.
Yeah, that could ruin the resale value.
It would ruin the resale value for sure. I would much rather I have a tip for you if you don't want to fuck up the resale value.
Tell me.
I have done this with an old robot vacuum with tape.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this.
I made a sigil out of tape.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to ruin the resale value or you want to swap out your intention, you just make your sigil out of tape.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for transitioning us so perfectly into mundane magic for mopping.
You're so welcome.
Because this is really, I will tell you, when mundane magic came to me, it came to me in a dream in October of 2023, and it was mundane magic for mopping. And I remember the first video, I was like, my hook, first line was, "Are you tired of mopping like a muggle?"
I remember you telling me about this, by the way.
And I was so excited about it. And mopping has continued to be the one thing that I genuinely cannot get myself to do unless I make it magical.
Yeah.
And that is by making a mop potion. So I like to take my O-Cedar's mop and I fill it with water. And then whatever soap I have, the correspondence of that, it meets my intention. So like I have a bunch of Dr. Bronner's Castile soaps because I love them and they work for everything. So I use them all over my house. You can even use them like you can wash your pets with them. You can wash your hair with them if you really wanted to. I wash makeup brushes with them. Like I use it for everything. So I have a bunch of different scents for different intentions. So like when I want a new beginning in my space, I use my spring blossom. When I want clarity, I use my mint. When I want peace, I use my lavender, etc. And what's nice about them is they're diluted, especially when you mop with them, to the point where they're pet safe. So people always ask me about like making mop potions. Like, what if you have animals? You just want to look at like the dilution of like whatever you're using and make sure that you're not like, you know, using too much of something that could potentially harm your pets. So that's why I like Dr. Bronner's, because they're like pet safe. They have a whole thing on their website about it. So I'll throw in some of that soap for whatever intention I have. I might throw in some Florida water. Sometimes if like I'm doing a spot that's like particularly yucky, I'll throw a little bit of vinegar in for banishing, maybe a little pinch of salt. If I don't have a Dr. Bronner's soap in the intention I want, then I'll make an herb blend and I'll brew it like a tea and I'll just put like a couple of drops in.
Yes.
So that's a really nice way to like kind of turn your space into like a potion, and then you're not mopping, you're spreading that intention throughout your space. And it always like motivates me. That is like the number one mundane magic tip that I have throughout the entire book. I'm like, if you take one thing away, wash your shower curtain on the full moon and make a mop potion.
I love the idea of like adding herbs with water, like just like a tiny little brew. And especially like we love Magic Hour tea. If you have a tea already that's aligned with an intention, you can just pour a little bit from the cup you're already drinking.
Yes, exactly. That's what I will do is I will brew a tea, and then because I like to let my tea sit for a little bit so it's not like super hot, I like a lukewarmish tea. Lukewarmish tea.
If you're ever making Molly a tea, just know don't serve it to her hot.
Well, I don't mind a hot tea, but like I don't want to burn my mouth on it.
Yeah.
You know, like I want it to be a comfortable
No, for
drink.
sure.
Right.
I don't think that's a hot take.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll brew it while I'm making my mop potion. I'll pour a little bit in and then I'll challenge myself to mop my space. Like I'll set the intention that my tea is the perfect temperature by the time I finish my space, and then it's my little treat.
Amazing. I love that.
I love that. Little treat magic. Yeah. And then, okay, so for some deep magic examples. So on the full moon, a couple of things you can do. So full moons are really nice for doing a deep cleanse of your space, doing a declutter. I really like to care for the houseplants on the full moon. So plucking off, pruning the leaves, maybe doing a little fertilizing, make some extra moon water for your houseplants. So caring for the houseplants around the full moon is great. I tend to do houseplants as a full moon and a new moon ritual because I will notoriously forget to water my houseplants. So that is my that on my chore chart for new moon and full moon, I have water houseplants, like literally.
Love it.
Another good full moon one that I always feel like makes a huge difference, but I always avoid doing because I feel like it's kind of like washing the shower curtain on the full moon. I forget when the last time I did this was. So I've started doing this as a full moon ritual, but doing a deep cleanse of the couch. So like taking everything off of it, vacuuming under the cushions, getting any stains out that might be on the cushions, washing the blankets, washing the throw pillow covers. If I'm feeling real spicy, I might move it and vacuum under it, but usually I save that for solstice or an equinox. I'm not going to lie to you. But doing that deep cleanse of the couch, it has helped so much with just like the maintenance of that space, both like cleanliness, dog hair wise, and energy wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think aligning anything with the full moon and the new moon is a good cue for me to remember to do something, because it's a day that I know that people in my sphere will be talking about. I'll be seeing things on my timeline.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a really good neural pathway has been created
Yes.
for certain tasks. And so for me, it's not even really about like what is good for what. It's more so like, what do I remember
Yeah.
happens around this time? And then I use that as like a springboard, because I find that I'm the kind of person that like when I do one task, I get a little dopamine high and then I want to do another task.
Yeah.
And so it's just finding the like catalyst task
Mm-hmm.
that will get me into that dopamine place where I'm like, okay, now I can do these other things that I would want to do once a month, and I'll connect these to the full moon, and now I have this whole full moon regimen and blah, 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 you know?
Yeah. Hundo P. Totes my goats.
Totes my goats.
New moon, great one for tackling stuff mountain, tackling where you drop all the stuff, wherever it is. I think like, especially if you have a living room that has an entryway either into the rest of your house, like is open to the rest of your house or opens to the outside world, keeping that space energetically clear is really, really important. I think of it as like, if your living room is the heart, then all of those entry points are the arteries.
Mm-hmm.
And so think about like, if that artery is clogged, the blood can't circulate. Like you literally lose life force in the other parts of your home. So the new moon is a really great time to like go through those different arteries, those different entry points, and like clear some of the clutter that might be in there, and think about like clearing that pathway for energy to move more fluidly throughout your space.
Yeah, and especially if you are a person who's of the belief that the new moon is a great time for manifestation, this makes it a great time for decluttering and for donating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because specifically, like the advice that I always give to people who are working on manifestation is you cannot manifest from a full plate.
Yes.
You know, you have to have space for the things that you're manifesting. You have to like almost create holes for the universe to fill, right?
Yeah.
And if every inch of your space is covered in stuff, you can't hold anything else.
Yes. Okay. Analogy incoming.
Hit me.
Imagine you're at the thrift store and you see the most perfect tchotchke. You're like, that matches my vibe. Energetically, I feel called to it. I need it in my living room right now. But you have a tchotchke on every horizontal space in your living room.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have room for that tchotchke. You got to make space for it first. So maybe we bump a tchotchke that no longer aligns with you out. You donate it. You send that to the same thrift store. And then someone new walks by and goes, oh my God, that is the perfect tchotchke for my space. That's the new moon energy.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes.
100p.
Yes.
Toast my goats.
Solstice equinox. Madison's very excited about this one because I mentioned to her that so when I was writing this book, I took your ideas from what I've heard from listeners, but also from Instagram. And I basically said like, hey, this is the room. What are the things you avoid doing in this room? And one of the things that people wrote was like cleaning their fish tank. And so I was like, it'd be fun if I looked up and like researched the magical correspondence of like fish tank decor, and you made it a little altar.
I'm obsessed with this. She was reading from her manuscript for this episode, like, oh, what are the different things that we should include, whatever, blah, blah. And then offhandedly, she goes, oh, the fish tank. And I said, the fish tank? Start reading, bitch. Tell me what you wrote about the fish tank.
So, like, for example, you're creating this like ecosystem of energy when you're cleaning your space. And so your fish tank is the perfect place to create like a mini altar in your space. And so choosing the rocks that are in the base of your fish tank based on color magic. You know, if you want stronger, healthier communication in the living room and you have a fish tank there, maybe they're blue rocks. If you want to connect with that heart chakra, the heart of the home, maybe they're pink, maybe they're green, maybe it's a mix. You want some protection, black rocks, right? But then the actual decorations that you have in your fish tank have magical correspondence to them. So perhaps you're trying to manifest more abundance into your home. Add a treasure chest. Maybe you're working on like transformation or like some sort of resilience practice. A barrel. Great representation of that. Plants, whether they're real or fake in your fish tank, can represent purification, replenishment, or cleansing. And so thinking about, you know, your home and the things that you place in your home, whether they're in your fish tank or in your living room, as like little, like I almost started to see my home when I was writing this book as like an altar. So it's like all of these things that I place in my living room, like they're placed with intention. Okay, I have green throw pillows to represent the heart chakra, and I have a blue rug to like have that strong communication, and I've got black accents because I want protection, you know, like all these little elements, just starting to think about, you know, how you can add that layer of intention to every area of your home. And then when it goes to cleaning the fish tank, it's no longer about like, oh, I'm cleaning fish poop and algae, but it's more like, oh, I'm refreshing this altar. I'm refreshing this intention.
Do I want a fish tank? Remember when I was like, oh, we might get a dog.
Remember when, okay, you talked about getting a dog recently. You talked about maybe getting a baby to help you tidy up. Now you're at fish. Which
I know.
one is it?
Listen, it's so funny the way that I am so responsibility averse that I'm like, a dog may be too much for me, but maybe a kid will make me get my life together. And then I'm listening to you talk about cleaning a fish tank, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. I can't, not even on the solstices and the equinoxes. I can't even once a quarter.
I know. That's how you know.
Clean a fish tank. And I think that there's a world in which I could support a human child. Nice try.
That's like a daily fish tank.
Right? That's a fish tank you got to clean every day. Multiple times a day.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you don't have a fish tank, this can also be like with the solstices and the equinoxes can be a great time to just like take an inventory of your pet toys, you know, like who has maybe seen better days? What toys are your pets no longer like gravitating towards? What's like accumulating in the corners? Or, you know, even I have to go searching in my house for one specific little green frog that Elliot, my cat, loves more than anything in this world, and often gets stuck in a myriad of places under the couch, you know, like tucked in between like a cabinet and the oven, deep under the bed.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I got to go looking for the frog, you know? It's a great time to just like see who is playing with what, and, you know, what is maybe ready to move on to greener pastures, or great time to go pet toy shopping. I love pet toy shopping.
One thing about me, I love pet toy shopping. If I go into a store that I don't expect to have a pet toy and it has a pet toy, I'm buying the pet toy.
It's the best. Did you see the TikToks? Again, sorry, here I go. With the dog toy, but the toy was a toy cow, and then the cow could birth another cow, and there was an umbilical cord.
No, I'm really upset you didn't send this to me.
Well,
I need it.
I didn't see the TikTok. I saw the toy in real life, and then my mom shared with me that she saw a TikTok about it.
Oh my God, I want that.
I'll find it. I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
Please send it to me. Yeah, I love pet toy. Whenever Costco has pet toys, I buy them. Because the boys love a Costco. They love a Lammy. They love a Costco pet toy.
You know, I've got a little bit of beef with the Lammy right now because I can't find the cat ones. And I'm feeling like they're participating in dog supremacy.
It's underneath the weight bench because you sent me a picture of your weight bench earlier and the Lammy's under it. And I noticed it.
No, I mean, I can't find them at the store.
Oh, I thought you meant in your house. I know where that is.
That was really impressive. Thank you. And yeah, I brought the weight bench out of the garage today, and not to brag. Thank you for sliding that in there, Molly, so I could appear
You're
very
welcome.
fit. No, they don't always have them at the store. And if it's not the frog for Elliot, it's the lammy.
It's the lammy. Yeah, I get it.
And so sometimes they need to retire. They need to go out to live the rest of their days on the farm.
Mm-hmm. Once again, this is why we need Chewy to sponsor this podcast. So we can have an endless supply of lammies
Chewy.
For our respective animals.
Listen, if you're not Chewy, keep scrolling. Hi, Chewy. I'm big fan over here.
I know we're an hour deep into this episode, but
but listen, this is for Chewy. Listen, it doesn't even have to be. We would maybe do it in exchange just for lammies.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could
lammies
negotiate.
Are currency. Yeah. Slide in.
Call me. Mwah. Anyways.
Okay, my final solstice equinox I'll share in this episode is your seasonal decor. Is like, have you ever like been in your space and you're like, oh, it feels really stagnant in here. I need to switch it up. Almost always that happens around the change of the seasons. Mm-hmm. And so just changing out your seasonal decor, whether you're like a big, looks like the holiday threw up on your space, or it's just changing out the blankets. Like I'm someone who, I'm really bad about this, but I love seasonal hand towels and throw pillows and throw blankets, but I never change them out. And so like we've got Halloween, we've got Christmas, we've got everything on our couch right now. And I'm like, it would feel so much better because I know come December, I'm going to want a new blanket and I should have just packed away the Christmas ones so that I could pull them out and it could feel new again. I'm going to take my advice this year. I'm going to get the Christmas blankets. I'm going to put them away and I'm going to pull them out at Christmas time and it's going to feel brand new in there.
I love that. Now that I have a garage for the first time in my adult life, I'm like really leaning into the idea that I can pack things and store them and put them in a place where I can go get them later. And that is really thrilling to me. That is what the figurines have been for me for all this time. It's been me and Grandma's figurines, and I've got one for every holiday that I care about. Which is mostly Halloween. But the second there's like the faintest thought of a Christmas in the air,
here they come.
I pull those babies out.
Yeah.
And it does, and it changes the energy of the space. It really does. And then when I get to like pack away the Halloween ones and put out the Christmas Yuletide cheer little mice, it's excellent.
Yeah. And this doesn't even have to be like going to buy specific seasonal decor. Like if you are in a space, like say you're in a small space and you don't have that kind of storage, having, your picture frames, you can put like multiple pictures in a frame and then rotate them.
Ooh, love that.
Right? Or, changing out your candles. So maybe one season is all about, orange candles for the fall. And then, as the different, whether you follow the Sabbats or the solstices, the equinoxes, like changing out the color of candle you use or changing out, the color of, if you have like lights in your space, like maybe get one of those color changing lights and change out the color that you have or whatever. Like it can be really small, simple things where you're just denoting the change of that energetic season. And so the change in the energy in the space can flow or change too.
Yes.
Changing, if you have one of those picture frame TVs, which by the way, I'm very jealous of.
Yeah. Send it to me.
You could
if you're a real fan of this podcast, you'll send it to me.
Change out the screensaver. On your TV. See, now the problem with this podcast is I'm going to come up with ideas and it's too late to put them in the book.
Yeah.
But if you have like a smart TV, changing the order of your apps so that the screen looks different and feels different when you go to sit down and use it.
Some might say you could color coordinate them.
I'm not going to say that.
But, that's just me.
Not me.
I've gotten a lot of comments in support of my color coordination. And so I just want I want it on the record that Molly's just a hater.
I'm not as unhinged at organizing as you are. And that's okay. Oh, switching out your signature scent of your space. So like, this is why I love, like your candles is because the scent in my space changes when I change the candle that I'm using. So right now I'm using like Well, since I went to Madison's house, she got me on a cedar kick, a balsam cedar pine kick, because she loves that smell. And also her friend Peyton loves that smell. And so I was surrounded by that smell while I was down there.
Yeah.
So now that's the smell of my house. So I have a Yuletide smell in August, and I'm okay with that.
And that's the way that it should be, honestly. We do this. Not only, I love doing it with my candles because they change with intention. And so then that like further tricks my brain. But also something that we do, especially like if we're going to have guests and stuff, is Drew and I will change scents out with wallflowers from Bath and Body Works. And so they're just like the little things that plug in to an outlet and then like make smellies. And so I'll choose what smells, like if I don't have a candle that aligns with what I want for a certain space, I'll put like really refreshing, energizing scents in the office because that's where I'll be working. I'll put calming scents in the bedroom. I'll put, you know, like scents. If like when you're coming, I'll put a scent that I know that you like in the guest room.
You're so nice.
Oh, you know, I try.
One thing about Madison is, listen, if I were to write an Airbnb review of Madison's house.
Yes, please.
This girl's got 3 cats and her house smells amazing. Every time I walk into your house, I'm like, dude, your house smells so good. My house smells like a dog kennel most days.
So one thing about my partner is that he has a sense of smell that should be studied.
He's a super smeller.
He's a super smeller. It's scary. It's not, listen, it's not, I would say that that is my biggest qualm about our relationship is that if I smell at all, I'm going to know. There's no plausible deniability.
See, since I learned this about Drew, my fear every time I'm around you is that I stink and I don't know.
Well, because then what I've learned through this relationship is that I apparently don't have a very good sense of smell. Did I say this on the podcast? So every year for my birthday, Drew adds to what has become my personal line of merch. So 2 years ago, it started with a sweatshirt that said Hundo P and then a couple other things. So it was like 2 sweatshirts and like 2 or 3 t-shirts. He has a friend who owns like a print shop. And then this past year, he got me a shirt that will live in infamy that just says in plain text, it's a black shirt with plain, huge white font that just says nose blind and deaf to sneezes. Because I sometimes don't hear him sneeze. Like I don't say bless you and it really offends him. And it's not because I've heard him sneeze and said and thought fuck you. It's just that I literally like don't hear it. Or sometimes his sneezes sound like coughs. And so now I say bless you anytime he makes a sound. But he got the t-shirt that says nose blind and deaf to sneezes because I don't have a great sense of smell in comparison to his super sniffer. And so all that to be said that we take air purification very seriously in our house.
You really do. It's really, oh boy. Okay, well, we've yapped a lot. In conclusion, the living room, heart of connection. May this space hold joy, gather love, and ground me in presence. If you want to dive into Mundane Magic for reals and you want to pre-order the book, I will love you forever. The link is in the description of this episode if you want to order it from Madison's shop, or you can search Mundane Magic on like wherever you buy books, your local bookseller. If you are a Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, like wherever you get books, Amazon, you know, any of those places. Though I highly recommend going through independent bookseller if you can. Libro FM, Audible, like it will be everywhere. So you can find it. You can pre-order it February 17th, 2026. It's coming. And
it's going to be a party. If you would like to see our ever-growing worksheet for this series, head over to the Patreon, demystifymagic.com. You'll get a monthly bonus pod from us, A Court of Molly and Madison. If you like our little side tangents about the embarrassing things that occur in our lives, then I've got great news. We're serving it to you once a month over there. We also have a really wonderful community. We've got lots of great group chats, lots of talking about books. I'm sure we'll all be aflutter talking about Mundane Magic when it comes out. A place to share witchy finds, share tips, and we've even got like an ever-growing spell book in our clubhouse.
Yeah. It's a fun time. So, and next week we are going to tackle the laundry room. So again, if you don't have a laundry room, we're going to tackle laundry. So if you've been, waiting for an excuse to fold those 15 mountains of clothes, hey, you and me both. We're going to tackle it next week.
Just hold out 7 more days. We'll be there soon. Don't worry.
Did we do it?
I think we did it. God bless.
All right.
Love you.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison. If you want to learn more about us, you can find all our links in the show notes.
We'd love to know what you think of today's episode, so drop us a review or give us a shout out on social media. And don't forget to let us know your magical moment of the week. Okay, love you. Bye.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. When you visit the doctor, you probably hand over your insurance, your ID, and contact details. It's just one of the many places that has your personal info. And if any of them accidentally expose it, you could be at risk for identity theft. LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second. If you become a victim, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.